Smelling nice, tobacco rabani. Mama, what's in my prayer, my rabani? Why see? That on my allergy, where that I be balling on my woman, when me chagaban. Chagaban. They thought I was a foreigner, I'm a Bayer Rabani. I'm waving out these sessions like a Danny. Understand that tiny guy. Smelling nice, tobacco rabani. Mama, what's in my prayer, my rabani? Why see? That on my allergy, where that I be balling on my woman, when me chagaban. 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 They thought I was a foreigner, I'm a Bayer Rabani. I'm waving out these sessions like a Danny. Understand that tiny got me, cause anybody told us got me, huh? Working and I'm waiting on that big ain't telling mother trouble, learn big still. And them boys steady waiting on that big stick. And I'm doing nice, so my nigga know you mistake. Yeah, I be that new school chagaban. Show me another young you going hard to dance. I'm the type of boy to go and knock a gama. Run away with man. This is real life, homie, this is real life. When I'm there, just put me on. You know what I feel like? I love, but this one will be highlight. Pussy nigga.
Buhari is dead and buried in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia.
Okay now. Okay.
They live as if they are in the jungle. Lagos is Lagos. It is not jungle. You either obey our law or go to your own jungle.
Tinubu Govt of the APC, 8,794,726. Miadi Peter Nnaji'S of Abga, 61,166.
Thank you.
Tinubu Govt of the APC, Is hereby declared the winner and is returned.
Tí ò bá sí àwa èmi tí ń dúró wájú yìí tí ń lérí ogun tí ní òkè Buhari nìṣó ká máa bá lọ. Kò lè di president. Ó ṣe kìíní olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kejì olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kẹta olùlẹ̀. Ó tiẹ̀ sunkún lórí tẹlifíṣàn pé láyé òun ò tún rán mọ́. Mo dẹ̀ lọ bá ń Kaduna wà rán ọ̀rọ̀ ẹkún kọ́ lélẹ̀. Àdúró tiẹ̀ wàá dẹ̀ wọlé. Nǹkan kan ní pé o ò ní fọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ṣeré. Ó dẹ̀ gbà. Àtijọ́ tó rẹ̀ ti débẹ̀ mi ò gba mínísítà mi ò gba contract mi ì tọrọ ọbẹ̀ mi ì tọrọ gàrí mi ì tọrọ fúra lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ mi ì dẹ̀ ìyàwó ń bẹ̀ ó wá ní lọ́tẹ̀ yìí o Yorùbá ló kàn. Tá a bá dẹ̀ sa Yorùbá náà èmi ló kàn.
I'm going to be president of this country, whether you like it or not, and I will preside over the affairs of this country, including presiding over you. I think you must start adjusting to that reality. The sooner you do that, the less chest pains you'll have when that reality comes.
I don't suffer, no be small. Upon say I get sense. Poverty no good at all. Now it make I join this business. For one night, you don't be it's once again. Everybody will pay up. If anybody follow Mugu, my brother. National airport, National stadium, President, my sister brother. You know, when I came here earlier for the sound check, I didn't check the sound because I didn't have any interest in checking any sound. I know the sound will come.
So that is right there. So that is right there. Good day to you. Good to be in your company. Or that. Good day to you. Good to be in your company. And how are you? The usual afternoon session. Well, I say usual now because we're doing it with some frequency, not regularity, but frequency. So we're doing it with some frequency. What we are actually trying to do, we want to get back to where the platform was, where we have a short little afternoon sessions, run about 2 hours in the afternoon thereabout, and then we have an evening session, 3-4 hours. So the totality of our presence on the social media space should not be more than 6 hours a day, because anything outside of that is quite unhealthy. But that's where we're trying to get to. But we see how that journey takes us. But good day to you. Good to be in your company. All that. The protocol remains the same. Click on the like button, just as I invite you to do so. Do so. And by the way, tell me in the comment section if my voice is coming across okay. Click on the like button as I invite you to do so. Do so. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you want to come and join me on the screen, come join via the hyperlink that says StreamYard. This the first line item in the comment section. Let me just send it in there now. So if you want to come join me on the screen, come join via the hyperlink that says StreamYard. It's the first line item, as I said in the comment section. Share the links just as wide there as you can. Super chat towards the stream. Like, share, subscribe. Share the links as widely as you can. And then super chat towards the stream. Come join me as well. And say hello in the comment section as well, so I can acknowledge your presence and say hello back. So the hellos already coming in. Of course, Agbado Tinubu, as ever, always the first to say hello. Good to see you, Agbado. And low pumping, there he is right there, a regular stalwart of the platform. So as you are coming in, I keep saying hello and I'll acknowledge your presence and say hello back. So yes, so all that. Let's just get started, shall we? We're reacting to a video where we are reacting to a media output, something out of Channels Television. That's what we'll be reacting to. But before we react to that, let's set the backdrop to the story. So as many of you as possible, you'll be aware then that there's a lot of there's been some controversy around the qualifications of one of Tinubu's minister, a guy called Uche Nnaji'S. You have to correct me if you call me how to pronounce that name. Uche Nnaji'S, the name is. So apparently, allegedly, there are some discrepancies around his qualification, which is now seeking to clarify. So we start it off. We have one readout and then we go to the clip just to set the backdrop to the conversation. Inside Minister Nnaji'S shocking certificate forgery confession. So just to give you a little bit of background, it came out recently. He alleged that, I think he said he did a master's at University of Nigeria Nsukka. So it is now imagined then that he did not do that master's, or maybe did not complete it. Certainly he did not get any certification from University of Nigeria Nsukka. So that's that's just the broad backdrop to that storyline. So from that, we fast forward to this. Inside Minister Nnaji'S shocking certificate forgery confession. So it looks as though an admission may have been made. The Minister of Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji'S, has admitted that the University of Nigeria Nsukka never issued him a degree certificate. This admission validates the findings of a painstaking 2-year investigation by correspondence, which revealed that he forged the credentials he submitted to President Bola Tinubu and the Nigerian Senate during his ministerial confirmation. Allegations of certificate forgery has dogged Mr. Nnaji'S since 2023. when President Tinubu named him amongst the first batch of 28 ministerial nominees from 25 states forwarded to the Senate as part of the president's initial cabinet list 2 months after taking office on the 29th of May 2023. Critics have long insisted that Mr. Nnaji did not complete his university education and that both the bachelor's degree and the National Youth Service Corps certificate he presented to President Tinubu, as well as the offices of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the State Security Service SSS and the Senate were forged. So this is the certificate that he presented by the authority of the council and the senate of the University of Nigeria. Yeah, and then it goes on to give us some whatever certification he's presenting. The findings of correspondence extensive examination of the documents were damning and conclusive. Both the certificate and the National Youth Service Corps discharge certificate in the minister's possession are outright forgeries. Mr. Nnaji has now addressed the allegations for the first time and in doing so confirmed that UNN never issued him any certificate. The minister's admission is contained in court filings in a case he instituted against the Ministry of Education, the National University Commission, the University of Nigeria, its vice chancellor, uh, uh, its registrar, a former acting vice chancellor, a professor, and the senate of the university. In the suit before Justice Hawa Yewa of the Federal High Court Abuja, Mr. Nnaji sought, through a motion of ex parte, an order granting him leave to issue a prerogative writs prohibiting UNN and its officials from tampering with or continuing to tamper with its academic records. He also sought leave to issue a prerogative writ of mandamus compelling the university and its officials to release his academic transcripts to him and asked the Minister of Education and the NUC to exercise their supervisory powers to compel UNN to do so. Additionally, Mr. Nnaji requested an interim injunction restraining UNN and its officials from tampering with its academic records pending the determination of the substantive suit. In her rulings on September the 22nd, the justice granted 3 of the prayers sought, but declined to issue any injunctive order against the defendant. Okay, so those familiar with the matter said Mr. Nnaji initiated the case to block the university from releasing details of his academic sojourn in the institution to anyone, including correspondents. He also said to desire a transcript to refresh his memory regarding where he dropped out of university. However, in paragraphs 12 and 13 of his 34 paragraph verifying affidavit supporting the motion, Mr. Nnaji made a stunning revelation, accusing UNN officials of refusing to issue him a certificate and in the process confirming that he never collected one. So that not being issued a certificate is not to say that you did not graduate. So the certificate is just a paper confirmation that you can present. So did you graduate from that institution is the thing. So the certificate is immaterial. It took me a long while before I got my certificate from the university. I just went about my life, and then when I needed it, I requested it and they sent it. So the certificate is not necessarily proof of anything. However, in paragraphs 12 and 13 of his 34 paragraph verifying affidavit supporting the motion, Mr. Nnaji made a stunning revelation accusing UNN officials of refusing to issue him a certificate and in the process confirming that he never collected one. In paragraph 12, he stated that the university admitted him in 1981 to study microbiology slash biochemistry and that he completed the program and graduated in 1985. But paragraph 13 contained the explosive admission that even though I am yet to collect my certificate from the third party, UNN, due largely to non-cooperative attitude of the third to fifth defendant, UNN is vice chancellor and the registrar. The third defendant issued a letter dated the 21st of December 2023 to correspondents, which stated amongst others as follows. This is to confirm that Godfrey Uche Nnaji'S, with registration number XYZ, was admitted in 1981 to study microbiology slash biochemistry at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Mr. Gregory Uchechukwu Nnaji'S graduated from the university in July 1985 with a Bachelor's of Science in microbiology slash biochemistry second class lower division. The letter signed by the UNN registrar was sent to correspondents in response to an inquiry. But its content has been invalidated. So it goes on and on. Oh, all right. So let me look there. Let's go on then. So that sets the backdrop then. So now let's now go on then to where the APC now comes out to defend its minister. So we pick it up from here.
Uche Nnaji'S. And of course, the university in question, UNN, has been speaking, and this was also, and this next leg of our welcome back to the morning brief right here on Channels Television. And this next leg of our conversation focuses on the controversy of alleged certificate forgery surrounding the Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Uche Nnaji'S. And of course, the university in question, UNN, has been speaking, and this was also a court case. Recall this began from about July 2023 when the minister's name came up for screening. Let's have this conversation and get the minister's perspective. His spokesperson joins us now on the program. Mr. Robert Ngu is a spokesperson to the Minister of Science and Technology and Innovation. Mr. Ngu, thank you for joining us on the morning brief.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And reports also came through yesterday that the minister's lawyer argued in court. To set the tone, what is a summary of the prayers of the lawyer in court?
Well, there was an injunction granted by the court. The Honourable Minister sought protection of the court. One, that the school should stop tampering with his academic files, because there was an information that his files was lodged in the Vice Chancellor's office for the last 6 months. Secondly, that the school should release his transcript, and those were granted, those protections were granted. And thirdly, that the supervising authority should do their work as supervising these institutions. So those are the prayers, and they were granted.
But I deliberately wanted you to go through those prayers again, but it appears as if they're contradictory. On the one hand, you're asking the UNN not to tamper with his academic records, and on the other hand, you're demanding a release of his transcript. In exercising its right, to access the transcript or to produce the transcript, it must, touch on the academic records of the minister.
They didn't say don't touch. They said
You see, that speaks to the illiteracy of that interviewer right there. So inviting them not to tamper with is to invite them not to alter. So don't make any alterations to the transcript. So that's what that prayer is for. So that's not to say you cannot issue transcript, you cannot act at the request of the owner of that transcript or that certificate, but the prayer is for them not to alter anything on that certification or transcript. So that's the prayer. So that speaks to the illiteracy of that interviewer right there.
protections were granted. And thirdly, that the supervising authority should do their work by supervising these institutions. So those are the prayers, and they were granted.
I deliberately wanted you to go through those prayers again, but it appears as if they're contradictory. On the one hand, you're asking the UNN not to tamper with his academic records, and on the other hand, you're demanding a release of his transcript. In exercising its right, to access the transcript or to produce the transcript, it must, touch on the academic records of the minister.
They didn't say don't touch. It says stop tampering or manipulating, because there was obvious evidence by what we saw online where things from a personal file of a former student was being released online. That means somebody in the school is deliberately doing that. And so we got on the good authority that there were some manipulations going on. And so, excuse me, the Honorable Minister sought protection of the courts, that they should release his transcript.
Is that your own interpretation, that it's tampering? Because the UNN reserves the right to look into the academic records of its student.
Oh, yes. Nobody is stopping them from looking. The file is with them. It is their file, and their file is there for them to review, nobody's stopping them. Tampering is a different, tampering is...
Some will say tampering is your own interpretation of the university's right.
This woman continues to perpetrate in her ignorance. Maybe it's a lack of understanding of the English language that we're seeing at play here. Tampering is to make amendments or alterations. It doesn't mean don't touch it. It means don't alter or amend it. It's just basic level English. So I'm not quite sure what her struggle is with that language. And then the guy is now going to school her on English.
There are some manipulations going on. And so, excuse me, the Honorable Minister sought protection of the courts, that they should release his transcript.
Is that your own interpretation, that it's tampering? Because the UNN reserves the right to look into the academic records of its student.
Oh, yes. Nobody is stopping them from looking. The file is with them. It is their file, and their file is there for them to review, nobody's stopping them. Tampering is a different, tampering is...
Some will say tampering is your own interpretation of the university's right.
No. The file of a student has no business in the Vice Chancellor's office. You have an acting Vice Chancellor who was a card-carrying member of a PDP. Under normal circumstances, he's not even qualified to be a Vice Chancellor of the school, but he was made acting. And then you have another Vice Chancellor who was in government for decades, and you put a robe, on an academic robe, on a politician. So the minister was jittery, because we know this is political, and we know how Enugu politics is, and so in Enugu, PDP has found a way to remain in power for the last 26 years by making sure there are no competition during elections. So what they do is go after whoever they think we challenge them and try to discredit them or find a way for them not to have a political party to run on. So the issue was stop tampering, stop manipulating his files, stop, basically release his transcripts.
All right. Before we get into the politics of it, there are also talks that the minister by himself, in admission in the court document, has said that the university didn't refuse to release his academic records to him, his certificate. So the question is, where did he get the one that he had presented before the Senate for screening, before the SGF for screening? Some are saying that by admission he has said that indeed he forged the one that is with him if the university did not avail him of his certificate.
That is where the problem is. The problem is that everybody is quoting Premium Times. Everybody has seen Premium Time as the Bible or the Quran of journalistic integrity. Everybody you've spoken to say Premium Time said, right? But has anybody actually found out if what they're speculating is true? In the court, there are prayers that were asked. One is, stop tampering with my files. 2, release my transcript. By the way, in May was when he asked for his transcript. He applied for it, he paid for it, and it was not released. So he had to get a court order for you to release his transcript. Why are you not releasing his transcript? That's his academic records. Release it. That's all.
So did he admit or not that the university refused to release his certificate?
My point is, the issue is about transcript. What has certificate got to do with transcript? If you're asking for transcript, why would you talk about certificate? The point is...
But certificate is also important in this conversation.
I understand.
Because the question is, how then did he get through Senate screening before he became minister?
I want to discredit that comment because all I'm asking journalists to do is to do their own independent, do your own independent research in the case. Don't quote Premium Times. Because everybody keep quoting Premium Times.
No, I'm asking you now, did he present a certificate during screening before he became, he got the nod to become a minister?
Yes.
Did he present?
He presented his certificate.
So where did he get that one?
He presented his certificate, which was valid. The screening authorities have screened his certificate and they passed him. You understand? Now, the Minister of the Federal Republic, as a former student, he is not the person to validate a certificate given to him by the school. The school is responsible for validating his certificate. And what did they say? I mean, after 2 days search of a 40-year-old record, what did the Vice Chancellor say? Meanwhile, the Vice Chancellor has no business responding to such things. But he took it upon himself in 2 days to search 40-year-old record to say, information available to me, we cannot verify. We cannot attest. From information available to you, what is wrong with your information? What is wrong with the information available to you that you have to keep somebody's file for 6 months in your office, and yet you could not verify something awarded by your institution? You understand? So look at the key issue. From information available to them, they cannot. Which is why the minister asks you, release this transcript. Why do you, if you go to school, to any other school or to a different country, they ask you for your transcript, not for your certificate. There's a reason for that, because the transcript is more superior. The transcript shows your academic records. The transcript shows, your progress, your graduation level, and all that.
All right.
Which is why he goes for that.
All right. There's so many questions to ask. You really haven't, answered my question satisfactorily, but I'm sure Kayode has follow-up questions for you from Lagos. Kayode, go ahead.
To be clear, in paragraph 13 of the affidavit filed.
To be honest with you, I hate a lot of the presenters on channels television. A lot of them they are more posers than anything else, especially this guy here. He just wants to pose, he wants to make affectations, speak a weird version of English, try to act like he never really understands anything. He's just there to pose and make affectations.
During the court processes, the minister is quoted as saying that I am yet to collect my certificate from the third defendant, that's UNN, due largely to the non-cooperative attitude of the third to the fifth defendants, which is UNN, the Vice Chancellor, and the Registrar. If indeed...
there are echoes of the Kemi Adeosun saga about this particular narrative. There are echoes of the Kemi Adeosun thing. So, and by the way, that minister, there's all of the indications that he may well have forged that certificate, but in his affidavit, we just read it now, in his affidavit to the courts, for an ex parte motion, in his affidavit, he said he applied to the defendant, which will be the UNN, for a certificate, and they refused to issue it. So if the UNN refused to issue his certificate, then what did he present to the Senate for screening? That's really where the question is.
Your progress, your graduation level, and all that.
All right.
Which is why he goes for that.
All right. There's so many questions to ask. You really haven't, answered my question satisfactorily, but I'm sure Kayode has follow-up questions for you from Lagos. Kayode, go ahead.
To be clear, in paragraph 13 of the affidavit filed during the court processes, the minister is quoted as saying that I am yet to collect my certificate from the third defendant, that's UNN, due largely to the non-cooperative attitude of the third to the fifth defendants, which is UNN, the Vice Chancellor, and the Registrar. If indeed the Honorable Minister made those comments in the affidavit, it either means he lied under oath, if you say that he actually has a certificate that he submitted to the Senate, or what was submitted for his screening was forged. Which one is it?
Okay, go. Basically, you want to know why, and you're still going back to the same question of what Premium Times said. Premium Times has become a repeat offender on misinformation. And so many cases abound where they allege something and they go and quietly apologize. They shoot before verifying. So everybody is quoting Premium Times, and I don't feel comfortable answering anything coming from Premium Times. If channels have done their independent investigation and asked me a question, I will address it.
But the question is not actually coming from Premium Times. The question is coming from the affidavit that the minister presented in court to apply restrictions on UNN. And on that affidavit, let me see if we have it here. On that affidavit, he pleaded that the UNN had not released his certificate despite, let me see, have I got it here? We have it here somewhere. We just read it now. Hold on. We'll just because it's important. Let me see. Hold on. How do you spell affidavit? F0RG, is it? So in its plea to the court, let me see if I can find it. So we can see what he pleaded to the court. Hold on. Hold on just 1 second. Let me put this on the screen actually. So we need to find, this is fresh evidence, despite the documents seen by the records of the registrar. I regret to, we just read it now, but hold on. Let's see. Hold on just 1 second. Oh, okay. Let's take it from here. It says, however, in paragraphs 12 and 13 of his 34 paragraph verifying affidavit supporting the motion, Mr. Nnaji made a stunning revelation, accusing UNN officials of refusing to issue him a certificate and in the process confirming that he never collected one. In paragraph 12, he stated that the university admitted him in 1981 to study microbiology / biochemistry, and that he completed the program and graduated in 1985. But paragraph 13 contains the explosive admission. So this is a quoting verbatim from his affidavit to the court to place restrictions on the UNN. So this is in quotation marks. It says that even though I am yet to collect my certificate from the third party, due likely to the non-cooperative attitude of the third to the fifth defendant, and that will be the UNN, its chancellor and registrar, the third defendant issued a letter dated the 21st December 2023 to correspondents which stated amongst other things as follows. So this right here is the damnation of this right here is the damnation of Tony Nnaji right there. This paragraph, that even though I am yet to collect my certificate from the third party, due likely to the non-cooperative attitude of the third to fourth to the fifth defendant, UNN is vice chancellor and registrar. So that right there. So with that, then the question then begs, what did he present at the Senate screening? So it's nothing to do with Premium Times. It's the question is actually coming off the back of his affidavit to the court.
Records. The transcript shows, your progress your graduation level, and all that.
All right.
Which is why he goes for that.
All right. There's so many questions to ask. You really haven't, answered my question satisfactorily, but I'm sure Kayode has follow-up questions for you from Lagos. Kayode, go ahead.
To be clear, in paragraph 13 of the affidavit filed during the court processes, the minister is quoted as saying that I am yet to collect my certificate from the third defendant, that's UNN, due largely to the non-cooperative attitude of the third to the fifth defendants, which is UNN, the Vice Chancellor, and the Registrar. If indeed the Honorable Minister made those comments in the affidavit, it either means he lied under oath, if you say that he actually has a certificate that he submitted to the Senate, or what was submitted for his screening was forged. Which one is it?
Okay, go. Basically, you want to know why, and you're still going back to the same question of what Premium Times said. Premium Times has become a repeat offender on misinformation. And so many cases abound where they allege something and they go and quietly apologize. They shoot before verifying. So everybody is quoting Premium Times, and I don't feel comfortable answering anything coming from Premium Times. If channels have done their independent investigation and asked me a question, I will address it. Premium Times is known to be an online publication that goes after their paid sponsors from politicians. And this is all political.
Mr. Ngo, so I want you to stick to the. I understand. I understand your point, and I want us to speak to the issues. Okay, and I am giving you a paragraph from the affidavit. Is that submission wrong? Did he say that under oath or not? This is again. This is for Nigerians. They want to know the truth, and I think this presents a very viable opportunity and platform for the Honorable Minister to speak his own side without, getting immersed to whatever issues, surround this. So I want us to speak to the issues. Did he make those statements under oath in the affidavit that the university is yet to give him his certificate or not?
What the Honorable Minister said was that his transcript has not been given to him. You know why? Because from 1985 till date, till 2013, he has never worked for he had never worked for government or anybody that would have asked him for transcript. He's been in the private sector all his life. So for the first time, he's actually asking for his transcript. It has never been given to him. Has never asked for it before. So this case is all about transcript, which he, by the way, applied for in May of this year. He applied for his transcript since May. Till date, they have not given him his transcript, which is why he went to court to ask for the same transcript. So if you go to a court filing and you look at hundreds of pages of an affidavit, you bring out one line that may or may not be there. The fact remains that the purpose of this court case was release my transcript. That's what he asked for. Until date, even with injunction, the school has not released it as of this morning. That's basically what it is.
So you're saying that that line in the affidavit, and I must point out again that these are court proceedings under oath, and the truth must be said. You're saying that he didn't say that he has not gotten his certificate, that what he said is that he has not gotten his transcript. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. The prayer he sought for, which the court gave him the protection.
No, let's be clear. I'm not talking about the prayers. I am talking about his own submissions under affidavit. The prayers are one thing. His own submission to support his claim is another thing. I mean, you understand the court proceedings. He would give his own case.
But you're still quoting what Premium Times alleged. That's why I asked you, have you seen it?
Okay, so here's what we'll do. In front of Nigerians right now, you have the court proceedings. I'm correct, because I saw you were looking at it on your phone. Can you pull it out and read to us the paragraph 13 for Nigerians? Certainly. Is that something you can do right now?
Oh, yes, I can do that.
Yes, please.
So this is suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/1909/2025. Minister of Education is number 1. National University Commissions number 2. University of Nigeria number 3. Professor Simon Otwaya, the VC number 4. Registrar number 5. Professor Gurjafar Ojam, who was the former acting VC number 6. Senate, University of Nigeria number 7. This is an ex parte. 1, the order granting leave to the applicant to issue the prerogative writ of prohibition on the 3rd to the 5th and the 7th respondents from tampering with or continue to tamper with the applicant's academic records at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. Number 2, an order granting leave to the applicant to issue the prerogative writ of mandamus compelling the 3rd to the 5th and 7th respondents to release to the applicant his academic transcripts at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. In addition to 2 above. Number 3, an order granting leave to the applicant to issue the prerogative writ of mandamus compelling the 1st and 2nd respondents to ensure, utilizing their supervisory and disciplinary powers, that the 3rd to the 5th and 7th respondents release to the applicant his academic transcript at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. Number 4, an interim order of injunction restraining the 3rd to the 5th to 7th defendant from tampering or continue to tamper with the applicant's academic records at the University of Nigeria pending the termination of this suit. Such order to further orders in this court may deem fit to make.
Okay, Mr. Ongo,
and those protections.
Let me pause you. Let me pause you for a moment so you can grab a glass of water, just so you're well hydrated. But it's not the orders that we're speaking about here, and I appreciate that you're able to read that to Nigerians. What is the bone of contention is the affidavit, which is his own side of the story, supporting his own claim. And I want us to go to paragraph 13 of the affidavit, not the prayers and the eventual order. I'm talking about the affidavit, if you get my drift here, Mr. Ongo. So it's paragraph 13 specifically that I want you to go to of the affidavit.
Now, what I have here is the court order. I don't have the full affidavit here with me, but if you have it, you can read it.
So, so you can't.
Don't read what printing time.
No, if you're saying that it's not true, I
want the court records.
I understand. If you're saying that is not true, then you need to provide us with what you regard as evidence to counter that. But in the absence of that, you can't keep saying it's not true. For all you care, you may have not seen it yourself, or have you seen it? And if you have seen it, can you give us? Let's have it.
Okay. Here is what is the issue at point here. That's the most important question. What is the issue at point? The issue at point is a transcript of a former student, an alumni of the school, asking the school to provide his transcript to him. He officially applied May 2025. The reason why he did that was because of the academic robe was put on a politician who has no business being acting VC of a premium University of Nigeria. So he, on good authority, he had information that there was some crazy things going on between the state government and an agent of the state government who was put in charge, who was put on academic robe in the school. Based on that, he's like, you know what? Give me my transcript. Because every time, as you see in the history of Nigeria, every time you talk about certificates, somebody say there's no comma here, there's no signature here, there is no number. They keep so. Transcript is a superior document that shows somebody's academic record. So everything about this case is about seeking protection. 1, stop tampering with my file. 2, release my transcript. That is what this is all about. So ask yourself, what has a certificate got to do with you're asking for a transcript? Ask yourself that. So you look at
Mr. Ongo,
hundreds of pages.
Mr. Ongo, I mean, a majority of Nigerians watching have passed through university or even polytechnic or some sort of academic institution, and we need to place it on record. If you say the transcript is superior, why then are you issued a certificate? And let's be clear, a certificate is a formal document awarded to prove that you have completed Okay, the course, the transcript in itself is to show what you got in different courses. So you took microbiology, you took physics, this is what you scored. But what you get at the end of that process is a certificate. So I find it curious that you say that a transcript is superior to a certificate when it's proven that a certificate is indeed the proof.
Look, a transcript is superior to the certificate because it charts the journey of your academic sojourn through whichever institution. So it gives you a detailed breakdown of your academic history all the way through to graduation. Um, um, a certificate is just a piece of paper that acknowledges you completed that program. But what actually verifies you is that you're graduated. So once you complete that process and the process required for that certification has been certified, then you graduated. You know, unless of course you did not complete the process. Once you've completed a process of education in any tertiary education, in any tertiary institution, and the Senate sits then to verify that you have indeed completed that process, then you have graduated. So irrespective of a paper certificate or not, the certification, the graduation is the actual completement, not completement, is the actual completion of that process and the institution acknowledging then that you have satisfied the requirement to graduate that course. So it's not the certification, it's the process and the graduation and the Senate sitting to verify.
You have completed your course. Now, the bone of contention here,
let me stop you for a second.
Pardon me, let me just land. The bone of contention here, and as I said, nobody's trying to hang the minister. It's just to get the facts out there for Nigerians. The bone of contention the bone of contention is what certificate did he present to the Senate if that paragraph says...
And by the way, this minister spokesperson is too old for this hairstyle that he's wearing now. He's still wearing a Mohican at age, whatever his age is. He's too old for that hairstyle that he's wearing.
He has not gotten his certificate. That is one bone of contention. The second is the school's statements. Again, the letter, which is said to have been written, and the school, the vice chancellor saying, hey, we have looked and we're unable to confirm that we have his records here. I want you to also speak to issues around the letter saying that he was not able to pass a certain course and he had to retake that course. So those are the issues of contention. Where did he get his certificates from, even for NYSC as well, if indeed he said he had not gotten them?
You asked a very valid question, which is why the Honorable Minister was asking for his transcript. The Vice Chancellor of the university received or supposedly received a Freedom of Information letter from Premium Times on the 29th September, right? 1st October was a public holiday. So you have 30th. On the 2nd, he responded after searching through 40-year-old record. And he tells you, excuse me, from available information, from information available to him, he cannot validate the certificate. But what is available to you? What is available to you is a transcript, right? The information available to you is a transcript. So in this case, what you're talking about is why are you looking for transcripts when certificate is better? But they say, for me, they don't even have a copy of the certificate in their files. Which questions the record keeping as a premium institution? So if it takes you 2 years to search 40-year-old record, a vice chancellor who should be busy, who was just appointed less than 2 months ago, should be busy, he took two days to search through 40-year-old record and said, from information available to me, I cannot. He has created an out for himself. So, which is why the Honorable Minister was wise to say, give me my transcript, which will show everything, including all the questions you're asking. The transcript is there to show. That's what saying, release it to me.
All right,
Mr.
Ngo, if I can quickly come in here, and I think it would be great to even have the minister himself speak to these issues. For some people, it may have been a downer yesterday that the minister didn't show up. Because in cases like this, you expect that, oh, he shows up and says, you know, this is the situation. Because I serve Nigerians, I'm accountable to Nigerians, right? So it would be great to have a conversation with the minister. Let's walk through it together. But there's a growing call for him to step aside during this whole process to show that indeed he's in tune.
This seems to be the standard go-to of the obedience space. And you step aside, step aside. Why should he step aside? You remember they were saying the same thing that Fabio and every other person before, that he should step aside. So if they step aside, if they start to step aside whenever some spurious allegation is made, then the obedience space will just sponsor people to make allegations against every individual member of our government, and then ask them to step aside. So you don't step aside until something has been established against you. So there's nothing that's been established. It's an allegation being promoted by an obedient leaning media space, and that's not sufficient enough for any minister to step aside.
With the issues. Is that something he's willing to do?
Well, it goes back to the whole reason for all this campaign. Premium Times was allegedly paid 100 million to start this process.
And by the way, the link is in the comment section. We're getting towards the end of this particular clip, so we're getting towards the end. So if you want to come in, the link in the comment section.
By who? Because this is a big allegation, Mr. Who paid, and do you have proof?
Allegedly paid 100 million as for starters to start this campaign.
By who? And do you have the proof?
If you look at it, I'll come back to that. If you look at the history.
No, I need you to speak to that quickly so we don't lose it in transit. By who? Okay. And do you have proof of this? Because that's a weighty allegation we can't verify.
They were allegedly paid by the state government of Tinubu State. That's the person behind the mask.
And where's the proof you have?
100. Okay, we can talk about proof. Okay, that's why I say it was allegedly. So, which is, let the state government defend themselves. But the point remains that this is all politically motivated, and that's what they're good at. And everybody, I'm perplexed that every media outfit in Nigeria is quoting Premium Times. Every media outfit, all of them. Do your independent verification. In 2023, December, another outfit, Gazette, went online. They wrote to the university to verify the academic records of the Honorable Minister. They wrote a letter, sealed and stamped by the registrar of the school, and sent to Gazette publication, quoting when he started and when he graduated. And that was it. So 2 years later, 2025, a new vice chancellor who just came in started responding to things he has no business responding to.
So who wrote a letter to Gazette that published the date of admission and date of graduation?
Okay, Gazette wrote to University of Nigeria.
And University of Nigeria replied supplying date of admission and date of graduation.
Yes.
And you have that letter.
We have that letter.
Make it available to Nigerians.
Yes, make it available to Nigerians. It's online. It's on public records. Yes.
It's a public record.
Yes.
We would like to cite that, but you know that you have made weighty allegations against the Enugu State government, and you can back it up with evidence.
They were allegedly paid. Yes.
Can you back it up with evidence? You have proof of transaction.
We allegedly was people who verbal confirmation, right? So we can find out.
You can back it up with your sources.
We have our sources.
You have your sources.
Yes.
Okay, because the Enugu State government has been speaking through their spokesperson. And the governor is saying the minister should carry his cross, that he's got nothing to do with this. Okay, as we wind down, are you denying the authenticity of the affidavit where in paragraph 13, the minister admitted that UNN has refused to issue him his certificate?
What I'm contesting.
It's not about what you're contesting.
No, I want to.
It's the authenticity
you're quoting
of the affidavit.
Anything that comes from Premium Times to me, has no credibility. So if you want me to respond to something everybody's quoting Premium Times, if Candal's told me...
You are the spokesperson of the minister.
Yes, I am.
Are you dissociating the minister from that affidavit? You're saying that that affidavit didn't come from the minister.
What I'm saying is that, ask yourself, minister is seeking for protection. One, stop this from messing with my records, because that's what they're doing. Two, release my transcript.
You have not answered the question, Mr. Ungo.
Everything, you're asking me to go through hundreds of records of an affidavit that is not in front of me. You understand? The only thing that you're telling me is that the Premium Times said. How can I respond to that when I don't trust anything that Premium Times is saying?
But the affidavit originated from your principal, from the minister.
The case of my minister, yes.
So we can rely on the information that has come through in paragraph 13, where he admitted that the university did not give him his certificate.
He never admitted that. What he said was that he has never received his transcript. Never received his transcript.
Did he receive his certificate from the university?
He submitted records to go through confirmation.
His certificate from the university.
He received certificates.
He received certificates.
But he's not the one, it's not his job to validate certificate that he received from the school. It is the school's responsibility. And the vice chancellor is telling you, from records available to him, he cannot do that.
Well, your answer is neither here nor there.
It is straightforward.
We might have to hear from the minister himself in order to verify whether indeed he received his certificate from the university or not, or whether what is being said in that affidavit contradicts what he has put out to the Senate, and indeed to...
He sought protection.
You know, it speaks to the poor quality of journalism in Nigeria. So they're asking him about an affidavit, and they're asking him to confirm or dispel content of an affidavit, which they don't have themselves. It would have been the easiest thing. It shouldn't have taken them more than half an hour to get that affidavit. They can either they go to the court and pay a nominal fee to get a copy of the affidavit or whatever, so that they then have it there. So how can they interrogate him based on what another journalist interpreted as the affidavit that this guy submitted? So it's just the quality of journalism in Nigeria has gone to the dogs. It's just the totality of a nonsense. You know, I'm not completely on board with this minister, by the way, but they've not presented sufficient enough to tell us that he forged the certificate.
As we wind down, if the UN and the institution, let's assume without conceding that it's subject to the whims and caprices of the Enugu state government, what about the National Youth Service, which has also written to Premium Times and said, look, we cannot authenticate this certificate of passing out that the minister has presented? Is the NYSC also...
That is false.
...at the beck and call?
NYSC never did that.
Okay, give us clarification on what...
No, they didn't show you what NYSC sent them. They're the ones that are alleging. They should prove. NYSC never wrote to them that he never did. They should have shown it.
Do you know what NYSC indeed said? Can you tell us indeed if NYSC authenticated the minister's passing out certificate?
There was never an issue of NYSC. All you saw is somebody interpreting fake documents they put online and started analyzing it. There was never an issue of NYSC. He served his country in Plateau State.
And you are clarifying that he didn't have issues,
he has no issues
with NYSC certificate.
No issues.
And NYSC didn't write to say they couldn't authenticate.
The only time they wrote was when the governor of it.
Right. It will be on record if he served or not. Now, in fact, even the people that he served with would know him. So if he did serve NYSC, then that kills two birds with one stone. So that first tells us that he did graduate from Nsukka, because he needed to have graduated from Nsukka for him to be able to serve NYSC. And if he served NYSC and there's sufficient enough proof, even confirmation by his fellow corpers at that time, there's sufficient enough to prove that he served NYSC. So if he did serve NYSC, which exactly sounds like he did, then that's both confirmation that he graduated from Nsukka and served NYSC. So if he did not complete the NYSC, that would be on record. And if there's no record that he did not complete it, then that is to say that he's out it in full. So this is yet again another instance of mischief making by the Southeasterners.
Tinubu State, where they wrote and said that what he presented was not valid.
All right.
Yeah.
It appears as if there are more questions than answers even after this conversation, and we look forward to an opportunity to get the answers that we seek from the Honorable Minister himself. We must thank you very much,
thank you very
Mr.
much.
Robert Ugu, who is the spokesperson of the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Minister Uche Nnaji'. Thank you, Mr. Ungu, for coming on the morning brief.
For having me. Yeah.
We'll take a moment. When we return,
all right, so there it is right there. We're none the wiser after having listened to that than we were before we listened to it. So that's Uche Nnaji' fighting desperately to clear his name under attack and assault by the Obi'S at the moment. So I'll play you just a little bit of music and then we'll shut it down. And then we'll meet again in the evening to have another session.
She is what I know, say